Good evening from downtown Sevierville. It's Ryan.
And Brie.
On today's adventure, we're going to be going to the History and Haunts event, checking out a number of different costume contests and dance contests. And there's some characters that are talking about the history of Sevierville, Tennessee. So we might listen into that. We've actually never been to this event, so this is our first time. I'm excited to just walk around and see what's going on tonight. Again, see lots of fun costumes, see who the winners are, and there's some fireworks going off at 8 o'clock, so we'll be showing you some highlights of that. So we invite you to join us to downtown Sevierville for the History and Haunts event. Without further ado, let the adventure begin. So we found a parking spot. I just wanted to show you some of these decorations that are out in front of this bank, which is also the home of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. So they have a dolly out here made of corn stalks. All right, I think we should go walk downtown here and see what's going on. So they've got some roadblocks out for the downtown area over by the Dolly Parton statue. I did want to go into Red's Soda Fountain and Ice Cream real quick. I want to show you some fun festive treats they have right now, which is a great place to come in here. They have some different food items and some fantastic ice cream and treats. I wanted to show you these treats they have over here. They've got these homemade zombie cookies, and they have these really fun zombie cupcakes for $4.79. And they have these oatmeal mummy cookies, which are kind of fun. So some fun little treats that you can come in here and get at Red's. Let's go check out what's on the street. We got to work our way over to the stage. I think they're about to pick winners for the dog costume contest. So we want to go see the different dogs that are up here.
Should we have brought Prim?
Bring our less than 1-year-old puppy in this crowd? That would have been a hot mess. We've got these dogs over here by the Predator. We've got another one of the winners over here.
Good boys.
We've got another one that's themed for Nightmare Before Christmas, Miss Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, this is Zelda.
Zelda is her actual name, very nice. They're gonna be doing some other contests throughout the night. So if we catch any other winners, I think we're gonna go look for the walking tour that you can go on. All right, we're gonna hop on this tour and go around, and you'll hear some history of the area along the way. The Haunted Mansion guy, Brie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to go for a ride on the Haunted Mansion later this month. We'll be down in Florida.
Thank you for joining us. I have a feeling several others will be joining us tonight as well. As always, I advise you to stick together and stick close to me, your guide. You may never know what or whom we may meet on these well-worn streets of downtown Sevierville.
My name's Wes Wynn, and I was born right here in Sevier County. Grew up, went to school here with my best friend over here, Catlett. And I've got to introduce you to Catlett. He got us all in a little bit of trouble back in the late 1800s. He agreed to take care of this family who were snitches. And he got me involved in that, and I'll let you tell him a little bit about that.
What Ples didn't tell you was that I was the brains behind the whole operation. Somebody offered us, because the family had snitched on this person who was a prominent member of society, and he had offered me $200 to kill the family. After a lot of negotiating, I agreed to do the job for $50. I'm a real genius, in case you couldn't tell. We got caught. It took 2 trials. Ples was convicted. Go ahead.
I was convicted the first time, and he was set free. They had to have a second trial to convict him. It was the craziest thing.
Finally, whenever everything was taken care of, and it's a lot of political jargon, Ples decided that he was going to go down to the river. They took him over to the river. They baptized him. They brought him up, took him over to the gallows, which are over here by where the bronze eagle is, and hung him. So we both got hanged right here in Sevier County, right over there on the property.
1899.
Was it July 5th? July 5th of 1899. That's what I'm told. I wasn't around to see if there was another one.
Last one's hung in Sevier County. And as you all can imagine, there was a fair amount of drama with the trial. A few notable people delivered very damning court testimony against both Ples and Catlett. And this greatly upset Ples's brother, William, who sought revenge on those who testified, including the sheriff himself. Of course, the folks of Sevier County didn't just let the Whitecaps run wild. Another group of citizens formed a posse to root out the Whitecaps and put an end to their murderous rampage. Perhaps we'll meet some of those brave citizens soon, or perhaps not. If you all want to follow me, we'll see who else is lurking in these shadows.
So we heard some stories and we're off to another location here in downtown.
So here we are, near the very spot where Dr. James Henderson was shot. I believe the good doctor is actually just arriving. Good doctor?
Good evening, neighbors. For those of you who do not know me, I am Dr. James A. Henderson, and I lived in a home right across the road there where the actually funeral home is now. I was the sawbones around here in the 1890s. Now, many folks who live here don't know that at that time we had a little war going on in this county, our own little private war. Started, well, there was a group of folks who decided that they needed to take the law into their own hands and police other people's morality. They called themselves the Whitecaps, and they slunk around in shame with white caps over their heads so nobody knew who they were. They caused a lot of problem and hurt a lot of people, including a good friend of mine. And they murdered her. They beat her to death, but it took her quite a while to die, Mary Beecham. And so I decided that we needed to have another group to fight these folks. We called ourselves the Bluebills. We didn't cover our faces. We told everybody who we were. We wore our faces proudly because we were standing up against evil. Well, they decided that they didn't like me being around and doing that. Now, at any given time, there was between 900 and 1,500 Whitecaps. You didn't know who they were because they wore masks, but we knew that they went to all levels of society, including law enforcement and even possibly judges. And so we were fighting them, and the best way I could fight them, I knew that they were low down and underhanded, so I just got me some spies out of their group and paid them to give me information. Well, they decided to come after me one night, and they brought a group of men to attack the house. What they didn't know is our Bluebills were already there waiting to meet them, and they shot up so many of them that they took them an hour to drag them all into wagons and take them away. And the next day in the newspaper, we had a rash of suicides that had happened here in the county. But a few weeks later, they came back, and this time somebody just shot me through the window quietly, one assailant with a shotgun. I was sitting there by the fire with my wife and my friend W.A. Green and my children, and in a moment, my life was gone.
My name is Clorinda Miller Bailey. Folks who knew me best call me Rindy. Sevier County folks knew me as a wanderer. I slept in barns and woodsheds, straw piles, fence corners, wherever I could shelter from the elements. But I wasn't always a wanderer. I knew love once. I was born to John and Temperance Miller, although not much is remembered about my childhood. I married John Bailey in 1861 and had 2 daughters, Sarah and Lucy. Then not long after Lucy was born, I seemed to have lost my way in this world. Some folks say I lost my mind over the death of a child. Others say my husband's family and mine took opposite sides in the war between the states. And others say that my husband was heavy-handed, marital problems behind closed doors. But the truth, my secrets are my own. What folks do remember is that one day I started walking, and I didn't stop. I walked through Sevier County, Knox County, north of the French Broad, through hollers and crossroads. "You got a nickel or a copper for me?" I'd ask at each house I saw. Most folks just shut their doors. Few folks pitied me. Few folks feared me, although I never meant to frighten anyone. Although there was one night, during a really wicked storm, Bruce Underwood was riding through Doug Holler, which is full of twisted rocks that look like devils. Folks thought it was haunted. Well, he was making out toward the Bethel Methodist Church, looking to shelter from the storm, and lightning lit things up, and he saw a creature lurching toward him, and he screamed louder than the thunder. I thought he was going to die. It was just little old me, Rindy. So we sheltered together in Bethel Methodist that night. It was probably the finest roof I ever had. My last meal was at Bill Hickman's house, and he let me sleep on his uncovered porch to shelter from the freezing winds. And the next morning, I warmed myself by the stove at Elihu's Shepherd's store at Henry's Crossing. You all know it as Douglas Dam Road. He gave me a box of snuff. He always had a box of snuff for me. They were kind men. Then on a cold February morning in 1894, Bolivar Douglas, son-in-law John Underwood, was walking the Underwood farm, and that's when he found me, lying below a cluster of white oaks, frozen to the ground. Just an old woman dressed in rags with all her worldly possessions in a sack beside her. John Underwood, he gave me a place to rest in the Underwood Cemetery. And Enoch Huffaker, he built me a coffin. Jess Romaines, he dug me a grave. They gave me a fieldstone marker. Years later, a fine-dressed man came looking for my grave, wanting to give me a proper monument, but by then, that stone was missing, and nobody really remembered where my spot was. So just like my life, my resting place is lost.
Poor Rindy. Thank you for sharing your story. Such stories are tragedy, but perhaps the most tragic story you might hear tonight is from no one other than Marvin McMahon. Marvin, are you here to tell your story?
Hello, everyone. I'm Marvin McMahon. People have told me I have one of the sadder stories here in Sevier County, and one of the saddest deaths, one of the more tragic accidents that's happened to Sevier County history. I was arrested and thrown in jail at 13 years old for trespassing and taking property. The property was a chicken. Don't know why Sheriff Duggan arrested me. Sheriff Duggan was a tall, lanky man. Stern as can be. Nicest person you could ever meet, though. He'd give you the shirt off his back. He didn't want to arrest me. He didn't want to, but the neighbors wanted to press charges for their theft and me trespassing. So that happened that evening. So by that night, I was down here in the jail. Now, the jail that's over here is not the jail that was there in the 1856. So we came down here, and he hauled me and threw me in the jail. It was a really cold night. So he made me a fire and put some chips on the hearth, and well, he set out to tell my parents. My parents weren't home. They were down at the store. The store was very far away. So he set out to tell my parents, and he about, I'd say an hour into his travel, it was by horse and buggy, he got a message from someone passing by. Sevier County was on fire. There was many buildings already burned, and it was fixing to burn down the entire town. So he went to tell my parents, and they all rushed back, and I was one of 9 kids. You believe that? 9 kids. Can you believe picking everything up and going down to Sevier County when it was burning, leaving 9 kids at home? Well, they finally got here, and they say you could still hear my screams in the jail cell when it was burning. I burned alive in the jail, all for stealing a chicken. Well, there was a few other souls that passed in the fire. They sent some other people in there trying to get me, and it didn't work. They said screams could be heard all over Sevier County. Really sad stories from what I've heard and from what I've learned. Chickens are better alive than fried.
The most gruesome of all murders in Sevierville was the death of Simeon Perry, which occurred, 199 years ago to the month. Simeon, tell us what happened to you. It looks like you fell out of bed.
Well, first of all, that's Captain Simeon Perry. Thank you. It has been almost 200 years since I had a good night's rest, because it was on October 10th of 1826 that someone broke into my house and killed me while I lay sleeping. I fought under Colonel Sam Ware in Mr. Madison's war and died in my bed, the victim of a brutal murder, struck in the head with a hatchet by a coward. It was John Nichols who became the prime suspect. He had been threatening to kill me for weeks. He was under suspicion. They went to his house, found the murder weapon hidden in the floor of his cabin. He was immediately arrested, But just a few hours later, a slave was forced to make a confession. They acquitted Nichols and hung the slave in what is now called Hangman's Hill. Who really killed me? That's for you to decide. But use your head.
Sevierville is the county seat. As such, downtown has been the center of commerce and banking throughout the county, and the location of a few deadly bank robberies. Now we'll meet two young men whose lives were cut short due to a failed bank heist. 126 years and 3 days ago, Will Derrick, his brother Cal Derrick, and young Pearl Thurman galloped on horses into downtown Sevierville, intent on robbing the Bank of Sevierville right here on Court Avenue. There's the ringleader now, Will Derrick. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm Will Derrick, and we will rob that bank too. We were camped out on the mouth where the Middle Creek meets the Little Pigeon River, and there were some kids playing across the way, and we were scared they were going to give us away. So we ended up coming in town a little earlier than we wanted to. But we came into town intent on robbing that bank at 9 a.m. that morning. When I first come in, we were ready for it, and I fired a shot into the bank. All of a sudden, a host of bullets came down and rained upon us, hitting all of us, killed 2 of our horses, and hit me 8 times.
Not too long after my cousin here shot into that bank and all those bullets came flying at us, a lot of those bullets went into my back. At that point, I was announced dead. Somehow I was not. And taken to the Masonic Temple building until I was placed in the Central Hotel, where I laid for 2 weeks until I was dead due to those gun wounds.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Historic Haunted Tours. If you want to take another gander, we'll have more later tonight. But we invite you to please continue to enjoy the event. And don't forget, we have fireworks at 8 p.m.
So there's a few highlights of the tour. I think we need to go find that Chick-fil-A booth over here. I found the Chick-fil-A booth. They have a wheel that you can spin. While we're waiting in line, I noticed they have this pumpkin patch. I did ask, and they said you can just come in and grab a pumpkin, which is right over here by the Dolly Parton statue. I think we found the most popular booth. You can either win some Chick-fil-A swag, or they have ice cream, brownie. Let's go sandwich.
Sandwich, sandwich.
Come on.
Sandwich. Oh, nuggets.
Nuggets.
I'll take nuggets.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Oh, it's a nugget or sandwich.
Oh, perfect.
Beautiful, thank you.
All right.
Your turn.
All right, here we go. Come on. Sandwich or nuggets? Sandwich or nuggets? Sandwich or nuggets? Ice cream. All right. Dessert. Perfect. Now we need to go get in a costume and get back in line so we can do it again. Aside from different vendors, they have lots of different games that kids can play out here. I think we're gonna go over by the stage and see some of the contests. So Micah is at home with the dog. He didn't come, but I'm gonna bring him a classic oatmeal pie, and I'll say it came from Miss Debbie. We'll check out some more costume and dance contests in a little bit. We just wanted to go for a walk. They do have some food trucks out here. Seems like lots of people just going from booth to booth, getting all sorts of different candies and giveaways. They've got some free face painting from the city of Sevierville. So we're just enjoying walking around and checking out everybody's costumes. I've been walking around a little bit. Let me see if I can work back up to the stage and show you some more costumes and a dance contest. We got Jasmine, Aladdin, and Abu in front of me here. All sorts of fun costumes that are currently being judged. We're waiting to see who the winner of the group costume contest is.
Let's make some noise for Aladdin, Jasmine, and Abu. The Pinata family. And first place. Man, I called it. They making me hungry over here, looking like a snack. Little Debbie family, let's give them a big round of applause. Once again, thank you to all of our contestants coming out, joining us this evening, dressing up, putting time, effort, and money into those costumes. Who wants a t-shirt?
Everybody loves a free t-shirt.
Hey, he finally got his shirt.
All right, I can catch this one if he doesn't make it. No, he made it to the road.
Oh, what's it?
Well, they've been throwing out some t-shirts, and the last one ended up on the top of the tree. So everybody is shaking the tree, trying to get the last t-shirt. So they're about to do the adult costume contest. I think we're gonna head back over to the Chick-fil-A booth. Line is way too long at Chick-fil-A. We're gonna go back to the contest.
Second place, the Viking. And first place, Moon Knight. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our contestants and winners.
I'll give you a foot massage when we get home if you can tell me the name of the actor that played Moonlight. I'll give you a clue. He was also in Star Wars, the newer Star Wars. And Dune.
I can see him, but I can't name him. I don't know his name.
All right, I'll give you half of it. Ready?
Ready.
Oscar.
The Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch? No. Do you give up? Oscar, last name starts with an I.
Ignacio.
No.
He just came out of Idaho.
Clearly, I don't know his name.
Oscar Isaac.
Oh, that guy.
All right, I think we got a dance contest about to kick off. The Viking is going for it. The Viking's gonna take it. The Viking's got some competition on the floor with the bear has entered the dance floor. Looks like Jason's making his move. Go Brie, go Brie, go Brie.
We got our winner. Third place, the Mr. Joe. Second place, honey, you were tearing it up. The Clown. And first place, he lives in a pineapple under the sea. Who is it? SpongeBob SquarePants. Let's give it up to all of our contestants, all of our winners.
The Viking was the winner in my book.
All right, watch the piñata. Ready?
So I'm one of the
Candy.
over in Dollywood Splash Country. I think that's awesome.
That was the shortest dance contest. I thought I was just getting my groove, and it was over.
I think the key is you have to be an excellent dancer or a costume that really sticks out.
Yes.
That people can go, that guy. But again, the Viking, I thought he was awesome.
And you have to be a little more brave than I was feeling tonight, for sure.
We're making our way over to the fireworks presented by Skyland Ranch. It should be over in this direction. Now's the time to do some trick-or-treating, as there's no one in line. You could go from booth to booth. But again, we're gonna try to give you some highlights of the fireworks. So we got a spot just across the street from the courthouse. There they go. Well, I'm sure everyone enjoyed the fireworks except any of the dogs that were still here from the dog costume contest.
Which reminds me, This is just another good reason we didn't bring Prim. She would not have liked that.
No, our dog would have been like, I'm out, I'm done, let's go to the car.
Yeah.
So.
But they were fun to watch. I love the sparkly fireworks.
I like the sparkly fireworks too.
I know.
So we're gonna go find our daughter, maybe try to hit the Chick-fil-A wheel for Micah and Hannah one last time.
Yes.
Because they couldn't make it. They decided not to make it. They're gonna be bummed when they found out how awesome this was.
We could do a family costume next year.
We have 365 days to come up with an idea.
I have an idea. I just need you guys on board.
Okay. That's going to wrap up our video checking out the history and haunts here in downtown Sevierville. We hope you have enjoyed coming with us. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Until next time, we'll see you on the next adventure. All right, for Hannah. Let's see what Hannah got.
Oh, wait. I think it landed on sandwich. You want sandwich or yeah, a sandwich.
For Micah is getting a waffle fries. Awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody's heading out except Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is awesome. That is all. It's the end of the video. See ya.